Hey everyone, Florida Man here. I'm gonna give you guys a March update. I have been absent, that is for certain. I feel like I have not been posting anything or showing any updates about what's going on at the Forge or what I've been up to this entire month. I apologize for that. This month was a bit of a whirlwind of things. I wasn't really sure how much I should talk about, how much it was too preemptive for me to talk about what I was going to do. And it ended up being like a bunch of meetings. I went on a bunch of meetings this month. And it was kind of like a change in perspective and a change in what I think I'll probably be ending up doing in Ukraine. Sorry, I'm recovering from a cold. Well, not cold. I think it was the flu. It was either the flu or COVID, one of the two. I just got back from Kyiv and went to go see a doctor there one more time to try to figure out what's wrong with my stomach. Figured that out, or I think I figured it out. Turned out I actually had salmonella poisoning. Not fun. I had salmonella poisoning for quite some time, I guess. I know it usually lasts for like 3 to 5 days, but then I kept reading up on it, and actually you can be holding the bacteria, like part of the bacteria can stay in your system for up to a year. It kind of cloaks itself, and when the immune system goes bad, it kind of reactivates itself and it'll shed. Horrible stuff. But on the other hand, I have medication now, and I'm on a treatment, and I have a game plan, and my stomach does feel better. It feels a lot better. Only thing is I'm abstaining from alcohol, which kind of sucks, but all in all, I think that's a good thing. But yeah, no, I was in Kyiv recently for a couple days, saw some friends, talked to some people. And then, yeah, basically, went to the doctor, got some tests done. And then the day, I was going to stay like a day or two extra to try to have a meeting with someone else. And then like on Sunday, I had that cough. And, you know yourself when when you're going to have like be properly sick, and you get that like one initial day to do all the prep, like nutrition and health you can give yourself before everything gets really bad. And I was like, oh my God. And I was in my van, of course. It's warm enough for me to, do stealth camping now back in Ukraine, which is nice. So I just drove my van up and I stayed in Kyiv for like 4 days. But yeah, I was thinking, I was like, all right, either I can try to rough it out for another day, or I get back to my garage, I start making myself proper meals, getting myself some nutritious soup or whatever, and get ready for a nasty cold. I thought it was just gonna be a nasty cold. I was a fever dream. I had a proper 2 days of fever dream. Still not fully there right now, but mentally I'm there, but throat's not all there. And sometimes I get a slight brain fog, but I'm good in the morning. So I'm good now. So that's why I'm doing this right now. So yeah, March. What happened in March? Sorry, it's going to be a bit of a ramble. I guess my brain's still not fully 100. So yeah, to start off, what did I end up doing most of March? March was, yes, a bunch of meetings. Meetings I did not expect. Meetings with people I did not know I was going to be meeting. And I'm not going to get into the details because on one hand, it's preliminary. It's too early for me to talk about the results because the results aren't in yet. Once the results are in and I know what's actually happening, then I can talk about it. So, there's no point in me making a big situation of something that could not happen. And it's a little frustrating to me, honestly, when I kind of realized this, because this month was a whole bunch of me kind of realizing I wasn't at the Forge at all this month. I think I was at the Forge maybe twice, and it was just like to drop by to pick something up or to drop something off. I didn't bend any staples this month, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not bend a single staple this month. I feel kind of bad about that. But there's been a couple changes in my life that kind of stopped me from being able to do what I used to do at the Forge. I mean, my stomach was the big one. I remember, I think it was in February or January where I tried to spend a week at the Forge and my stomach started hating me. And I think it was the water. My stomach lining was so weak that like the water there, obviously they've had it tested, but it's village water. We boil our water before we drink it, but still my stomach was not having it. And it was not good. So that kind of stopped me from being able to like spend a prolonged period of time at the Forge. So it was kind of hard for me recently, like this last month, to kind of like, well, what am I doing that's actually like physically doing stuff for Ukraine, especially related to the Forge. I have projects here I've been working on, and I'll get into those in a bit. But like with the Forge, that was like kind of like the big thing. And so I feel bad telling you guys, like I was not at the Forge. I did not bend staples. Your donations, though, are still going to the Forge. All of your guys' donations primarily are going to the Forge. Like, that's the first thing that gets funded. If Ramon and Dina need anything for the Forge, that's where the money goes first. Then I have some other workshops that need some help sometimes, and I try to put a little funds toward them if I have the extra funds. And then I put 200 towards my rent for my workspace so I can work here. All right, that's where you guys' funds go. And whatever projects I have, I usually take that out of my own pocket, but that's fine. So yeah, I felt bad though, because I physically did not actually put a physical effort in helping Ukraine this month. I feel kind of bad about that, and I just wanted to share that with you guys and be frank and honest about that I physically did not do a physical thing. I had potential. The potential for what I could have done would have been astronomical. If this works out, it would be astronomical compared to what I used to do, or what I have done for Ukraine. And it was kind of one of those points where I was like, I don't want to get into it yet because I don't know the outcome yet. And once I know the outcome, I'll tell you the story. But I don't know the outcome yet. Until I know the outcome, it'll be a tiny secret, guys. Build a little suspense for you. But yeah, it could turn out, what I ended up doing this month could turn out to be very good for Ukraine in the long run, and for Europe, and very detrimental to Russia. All right, but that's if it works out, and that's what I kind of realize sometimes. It's just it's a little frustrating. The waiting. I feel like there's a lot of waiting now here in Ukraine. Obviously, we're waiting for a ceasefire, but even before this, there's a lot of waiting. Sometimes you're waiting on other people. And you kind of you have to learn to kind of develop skills, or like develop this ability to know when is it actually needed to wait and when do you actually need to push and do something. And because I've had that now where I've realized where, you jumped the gun and you blew a great opportunity because you got too eager and you kind of pushed it too quick. But in other times, I've been in situations like, oh shit, if I did not do something, things would have gotten really bad really quick. So, yeah, I'm in kind of one of those situations, I feel like, a bit, where there's a lot of big things going on, and I need to be very cautious about how quick I push things or how things move. But yeah, it's interesting because there's other things going on too with my job now with the orphanage. As the director, I used to be, I used to be there a lot of the times on hands at the facilities, overlooking, helping out, doing whatever. But now I'm traveling a good bit, and I have multiple projects now, and I can't be at them, so I just delegate. And it's weird because I feel now I'm leaving the field of actually doing stuff, and now more in the field of overseeing stuff and making sure things are executed properly. It's kind of new to me because I've always kind of been the guy who likes to get down and dirty. Also, guys, since I now have had a video over 1,000 views, I decided to make an investment to see if I can get people to stay past the 30-second mark. If you stay past the 30-second mark because of better audio, please let me know in the comments below. All right. So yeah, hopefully this is an improvement. But yeah, it's been a big kind of like a month of odd changes, and this is a bit more of a reflection video. Sorry guys, this is just going to be me rambling about reflections because this month was a different month, and I can't go into the exact details, but I can tell you how I feel about it and what's changing. So the changing aspect is I don't know how much physical work I'm actually going to be doing in Ukraine. I still have my projects in my own garage, and I like doing them. But I know I am an amateur, and there are far better people. And now I have more contacts, and I have contacts to those people. So would it be more efficient then for me to just be able to be the guy that puts the pieces together and put the right people in connection with the right skills, with the people with the right requests who have the need? Is that a better deal than just me kind of tinkering in my garage, spending, a great deal of time trying to figure out stuff that someone else has already done? I get that thought a lot, but I think it is still good because I still have free time, and for myself, it does feel good to kind of do these projects and learn it yourself. Because honestly, I think take this for anyone who does like leadership training or anything who's interested in leadership. I've seen this now too often now when people get leadership positions, and I've noticed, especially here in Ukraine, there's like an arrogance of leadership where it comes to like you don't need to know stuff. Like the technical info, it is unneeded for you to know the technical info. And I understand that to a point, but I never feel like if you have the opportunity to learn it, you should learn it because it gives you an insight that prevents you from being bullshitted. It prevents other people from being able to bullshit you. It gives you the ability to spot like the small, they always say the devil's in the details, like these small hiccup areas, these areas where you're going to have problems where at the macro level, you're not going to be able to notice it unless you actually have that eye for it that someone has developed as a skill, if you have some technical skills in that area. And that's where like, I feel like that's why I still like learning stuff. I still like trying to mess around with stuff. But then also you understand, you have a responsibility to oversee the bigger picture now. So you need to make sure other things are being done correctly. Sorry, guys. I can't tell you exactly what's been happening because like I said, but I'm just letting you know what's going through my head right now with this month. So yeah, it's been challenging in that sense, kind of adjusting to my new norm. Sometimes I feel like I'm being super lazy. Like I'm not actually doing physical work. I like doing I used to be a bartender. Like I'm going to be honest, guys. I feel like bartending, like if I had a kid, I'd probably make him a bartender. I mean, not when he's a kid, but just the physical labor, physically putting in that effort and getting like something out of it. It's an important thing to develop in yourself. It's an important aspect, I think, for people to kind of develop that ability. So I want to maintain that because I've seen so many poor cases of leadership and projects and, institutions failing because leadership failed to want to understand or really understand the actual mechanisms of what's functioning inside their system. So yeah, that was a tangent. That was a nice 12-minute tangent about, I don't know what exactly. Like I said, I can't go into details about what's been happening, but yeah. Hopefully if it works out, I can share a great video about it, but we'll see what happens. All right. So lots of other stuff has been happening though, also in March. A while ago, I made contact with some people. Actually, they made contact with me. They're from St. Lazarus Church organization. They did humanitarian work in Ukraine. A friend of a friend got them in contact with me, and a group of them run a tactical trainings workshop. There's some younger guys, veterans. I believe they've both been to Iraq. But basically right now they are working on setting up like their own company, and they do tactical training courses. And they came up with the idea of setting up like a fundraiser event for me, for our organization, Florida Man for Ukraine. And it's going to be in Central Florida. It's on April 26th. Here's the flyer for it right over here, guys. I'll be there. I won't be teaching you guys anything. I'll be bringing some goodies, though. I'll be bringing some goodies from Ukraine. That's as much as I can say. All right, that's as much as I'm going to say about that. But I will be there for the whole day. If you want to meet me, if you're from Florida and you want to see me, hey, I'll be there. Also, later that month and the following month, I'm going to be traveling around Florida to do public speaking events. My goal when I get back to the U.S. is to try to help advocate for Ukraine, and in a way that is like reaching to regular communities, regular groups of the people, to kind of share what my life experience has been like in Ukraine, to give them an insight of what it is from an American, who's been there for over a year and a half. I'm not a tourist. I don't come here and I don't just stay here for a bit and see the ruins and then leave. I have many Ukrainian friends. I deal with this on a daily basis. It is now very dear to my heart. I think I have a pretty good pulse on the situation. So my hope is that when I get back to Florida, I already have one group. I have a couple groups now interested in having me speak. But I'm hoping to reach out to more. The more, the better. I would like to reach out to the biggest group as possible. And obviously, I want to reach out to those that might not have the best informed situation about what is going on in Ukraine, because those are the people I need to communicate with. Those are the people I need to be able to share, what the actual situation is. And not just, watch videos that Mike Pence watches, they're not Mike Pence. I said that again. I actually had a conversation with my friend earlier, and I mistook JD Vance for Mike Pence. I don't know what sort of slip that is, but yeah, JD Vance. Yeah, watching videos that JD Vance has watched. Yeah, so yeah, that's my game plan for pretty much next month, April, and then the beginning of May. Your funds are still, if you guys still donate during this time, they are still going to go to the Forge. Obviously, I'm still going to be in connection with them. And there's some other stuff happening too now. I'll let me get into the other stuff. But yeah, hit me up. Hit up my Florida Man or FloridaMan at floridaman.org. If you want to contact me, you want to set up an event or something, get me in contact. Please reach me there. Now, other things going on inside of Ukraine with all these organizations and what's going to be happening while I'm gone. So, a couple things. I need to very clearly state that the Forge, it was very rough for the family at the Forge this winter. Thank you. I'm very scared to think what situation they would have been in if we have never met. If I never met them and they didn't get the opportunity to access like this fundraising cash to be able to do all the stuff that they're doing, because they have had a lot of hardship lately. They've had a lot of hardship. I'm going to be honest. I used some of your guys' donations to help them through the hardship. They had, well, one, the wife got sick. She had seemed like she was getting like proper arthritis, knee arthritis, like chronic knee arthritis, like really bad. They sent her to rehabilitation. That took out a lot of time for Roman. And then basically, that's just been a prolonged period. They've had vehicles break down. Other vehicles just go kaput on them. They had to get a new vehicle. They got another, what is they called? It's another Soviet one. It looks like the other guys. I'm really bad at the car names. But yeah. So they ended up getting an old car, but then unfortunately Roman started having health issues of his own. He could still work, but he couldn't put in the same hours like he used to. So he needed to get like an MRI. He had to go get other procedures done. So now he's on medication. I feel very bad for them. A lot of bad things have happened to them. They're well broke. I was there for that. That sucked, not having running water in a village during winter. It was not good for them. And I'm very thankful for you guys for helping me so I can help them, because they got through it. Temperature, it's getting warmer now. We're all optimistic that, we're going to be able to improve the situation with the better weather. The health will improve as well. But I really appreciate your guys' support, and so does Roman and Dina. You guys were very helpful. You guys, I'd be very concerned about what situation they would be in if we never had this connection or this sort of situation. But that also, be honest then about what we're producing at the Forge, that yes, things produced at the Forge have been at a slower rate, which also meant why I can use your guys' funding for other workshops. About the other workshops, I cannot go into details about those other workshops, and I cannot go into reasons why I cannot go into details about those workshops, okay? Just know that your funds are being put to good use. I am working on kind of setting up something to showcase something else to you guys that I have been working on, that there's some people I've been talking about, and I think it'd be another good area for us to help Ukraine. I've been in contact with some other, that's a problem. It's just been meetings. I've had all these great meetings, but actually, having something fruition out of it, that's what I need to work on. But I think I'm only going to be here for like another 2 weeks before I head back to the US. So actually trying to implement something on that short of a time scale seems a bit daunting, especially with, my sickness and whatever else comes next. But yeah. So, but things are changing a bit. Like I said, for what I'm doing then, all right, so maybe I'm not going to be at the Forge and I won't be able to showcase what Roman will be making every day or us bending staples. But we are still having the volunteer room. That is my first project when I get back to the forge, is to renovate that place, have that place set so we can take on volunteers and they can stay there. It's a comfortable area. They have their own quarters pretty much, so it should be good for everyone. They can maintain their privacy a bit, and you have your own space, which is your own, which, you know, you have to keep it keep it clean on your own, but, you know, it's your space. You know, these are things I'm looking forward to. That's a good project. But there's other workshops. There's some interesting stuff. There's other people that want to do other cool stuff, and I think I can showcase it. And it would be cool that basically the idea is starting to take shape again. I've reached out. We almost have the organization created for the Forge, but I'm also looking at creating another organization. And this organization is just going to be like my organization. I'm trying to convince one of my Ukrainian friends to be the other person that bites the bullet. They're all afraid. Ukrainians are so afraid of dealing with any government paperwork in Ukraine. It's kind of, it's funny and sad at the same time. But yeah, the objective primary of this organization would be to support all these sorts of workshops together, which I can use to allocate funds to. And also to be able to give out, I'm thinking about sort of visas, like volunteer visas. So if we have a skilled technician, a foreign skilled technician that wants to come to Ukraine and work for over 3 months in Ukraine at one of these workshops as a volunteer, this could be an avenue for them to get a volunteer visa to work at that workshop and to help there for an extended period of time. Obviously, they didn't want to work, you know, the details about how long they would need to work and blah, 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 you know, that's down the line, but that could be an avenue. Also as a way for us, just as an intake, a way for us to intake skilled technicians that want to help Ukraine, that are interested. And I have plenty of people here that have a workshop, that have a great deal of know-how. Maybe they can use an extra hand, maybe they can use a little extra new knowledge from here or there. But yeah, that's something I'm thinking about as a sort of kind of pivot. As in, that's where I'm kind of going now, because like I said, it doesn't seem like I have the health to be at the Forge, to just be there to work and to help them out for an extended period of time. So I need to kind of adjust what I should be doing in Ukraine. All right, next one up, caltraps. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys remember those short. I was so enthusiastic. This project got brought to you. You probably guess who brought it up to me. He made a video presentation with Lindy about it. But yeah, I thought maybe I can make such a durable 3D printed version of like a casing for a caltrap. Here's going to be the video of those casings. I mean, it was solid. You could toss that sucker. I mean, it was a rock, but I guess you need something harder than a rock to pop a tire. So the ideal principle was that the 3D part was going to enclose that metal, like it was just going to be the case to hold that sharp bits, to hold it in place, because that's all I need. I just need that one sharp bit to puncture. Yeah, it did not hold. I was surprised. I was surprised how resilient tires are. I guess they are very durable. So it's kind of back to the drawing board on that one. I was a bit upset because the reason why, and let me get into why people are like, why don't you just weld it? Which I'm not against. But the entire principle of the idea was to make something that was easily scalable. So with the 3D printers, you can have like 5 3D printers, and you could set like a stack of 5. You can have a 3D printer and then you give it a file of 5 of them to print. All right, so then let's say it takes an hour for one to print one of them. So 5 hours. All right, and you got 5 printers, and you got 25. So yeah, in 5 hours you get what, 25? Yeah, 5 hours, 25. And then so 10 hours, you get 50. All right, so yeah, if you got 5 printers, and in like one day, you can get 50 of those guys. That's not bad. And you got a bigger farm, you could do better, right? And so that was kind of my idea. It'd be really easy to scale. 2, we wouldn't need a skilled laborer to make these. And that was like my big point, because I got volunteers that do, you know, they come and they work in places, but you know, they're not skilled laborers. And that'd be great if I can just take an unskilled laborer and say, hey, here's your project. You're going to make caltraps. But if I have to teach you how to weld, It's not that hard to learn how to weld. And honestly, I think if you want to learn how to weld, just go on YouTube and just buy them. Like, they're freaking cheap, guys, honestly. The only problem is, like, you injure yourself. We don't want to be reliable if you injure. We're not going to be the ones liable for you learning and injuring yourself on the job and, like, welding your fingers together or something. And that's the biggest worry. Usually it's like, we don't want to put someone who's novice and have them injure themselves. And we feel really bad, and two, be like, look, dude, this is a volunteer effort. We're not making money. We can't really compensate you. We can't take care of you. So that's the other reason why too. If you think about it, you're like, all right, yeah, we don't want to deal with that. But that's why I wanted to have like a non-welding version of a Caltrap. That would be great. But unfortunately, it does seem like we're probably going to need a welder. You're going to need to weld them together because, yeah, they do need to be a lot more like durable. I was surprised. But that project's still, like, I'm going to have to put that project on the back burner now because like I said, I'm going to leave in like 2 weeks. I got some other projects that I need to finish up first. I got a lot of video editing for my other ones. My drones. Sorry, guys. So this is why I haven't made my drone 2 video, because my first one got over 1,000 views. It's like, oh, that's great. And but I saw how fast that fucking thing dropped. If you go to the analytics, it's like, oh, cool. And then like after the 32nd, I think it was down to 300. So I lost a third of my guys after the 30 seconds. And I'm like, all right, probably audio quality, presentation, that sort of stuff. People aren't going to stick around for that. So I decided, all right, let's try a better time, because it seems like I got the algorithm's attention. Hey man, if you get 1,000 views, I only got 570 subscribers, so the algorithm's pushing it. So yeah, I think that's how I kind of see it now. It's like, all right, the fish is biting the bait, so you just got to put in better bait. So that's one of the reasons too why I haven't made a video in a while, because yeah, I've been kind of waiting to get like better stuff and kind of make a good quality video to kind of really hit the algorithm. But yeah, that's my next project here. While I'm still here, I'm going to finish that. I have all the videos recorded, all that's done. I just need to sit down and do a voiceover and give you guys instructions about what I'm actually doing. So I think that's going to be it. Thanks guys for sticking around for this rant. That's my March update. And yeah, I'm sorry about like just not being able to be more clear and concise about what exactly I've been up to. But basically, if it works out, I'd be very happy to share what happened and to share the stories and my insight and my experience of it all. And if it doesn't work out, then, if you know, if you don't, you'll never know. All right. So that's it from Florida, man. Also, yeah, please do hit me out if you're in the Florida area and you'd be interested in having me speak at a club or an event or something like that. I'm looking. This isn't me going back home to like for R&R. I might enjoy like 1 week of R&R, and that's as much as I need. After that, it's me trying to figure out what the hell's going on back home, and then hopefully try to convince people that Ukraine is a place worth helping and defending. All right. So, yet again, thank you guys for sticking around and watching these videos. All the best out there, and of course, stay safe.